A beautiful morning here at Road America in central Wisconsin. As you can see, our Pirelli GT4 America, presented by Window World, sprint category is out for their qualifying session to establish the grid for the first of the two races that will unfold this weekend. This being the original, if you will, historic sprint format of the Pirelli World Challenge, now in the form of the Pirelli GT4 America Championship with two races on the weekend, but only one driver in one car, 50-minute sprint races. Fast lap of the first race will determine the grid for the second race, but you still need to put down a great lap here in qualifying to be able to find yourself in the right spot to be able to get that fast lap in the race. And they are racing right off the green here, heading down into turn 8 here. I'm Greg Creamer, joined by Calvin Fish. And watching the Black Dog McLaren, still difficult for us to wrap our heads around that one. And this is their home track. And they were, I think, both Tony Gaples and certainly Michael Cooper were kind of licking their chops a little bit because they know this place, they love it, and these McLarens they're running for the first time this year should be good.
They should be really strong here, and both their drivers are third in their respective championships. Michael didn't have the best of weekends at Watkins Glen, following up on a brilliant weekend at Sonoma, where they really seem to have found their feet with this McLaren chassis, obviously campaigning it for the first time this season. And that's exactly what Ray Sorensen told me at the beginning of the year. We just need to get to that mid-season break, get a little bit of time to regroup and get our arms wrapped around this chassis. And they did a great job of scoring points early. That's kept Michael in the championship chase. But a little bit of a deficit right now to Ian James, who leads this championship. 19 points over Pompelli, 22 over Michael Cooper. And Gar Robinson a bit further back than that, but coming off a very strong weekend himself for the Ranch 74 team, and they were quick in practice yesterday, Greg.
They were indeed. Shane Lewis topping both sessions. You talked about Gar Robinson being very fast, as was Shane at the Glen. So this one should be fun to see as we're watching Cooper here. A lot of the early success in terms of the points for Cooper was his ability on cold tires and opening laps to make up a lot of ground. And now that they've shown the ability to do that, they just need to be able to put it together up at the front. And he's being hounded right now by a very quick AM driver, the number 7 of Alan Brynjolfsson, who I'm sure is looking forward to putting last year behind him here and putting a really good run down in this session to get himself a good qualifying effort.
Yeah, and he's right in that sweet spot, maybe pulling a draft effect down these long straightaways as we come down the run through the moraine sweep into that heavy brake zone for turn 5. Michael there looks like he's just trying to use the electronics coming off that corner as it steps sideways on him a little bit. We stop here for Michael Dinan, I believe.
Yeah. Ducking in, not pleased with something. Give you a reference point. Ian James last year in qualifying turned a 2 minute 17.537 second lap. In 2017, Jade Buford in the Sin R1 turned a 2:17.34. That just gives you a bit of a reference point. In practice sessions, they were at the 2:18s, but again, that's practice.
Yeah, and they're trying to manage their allotment of tires too, so you find that a lot of those times set on the practice day are on previously used tires. There's a carryover set that they bring from the event at Watkins Glen. Here's the man with the championship lead, and what a performance he's put in here over the last couple of years, Greg.
He's swept the last 2 years. He's had 4 straight wins and coming from a couple of poles as well. So it's just fast. In talking to him, he said the architecture of the car really works this track beautifully. And even though when they get into the very top range here in terms of high gear, with the way that the BOP works, the car kind of stalls out just a little bit. It gets off corners well. And then the way he's managed tires in his racecraft this year, he's just done a brilliant job to find himself in the lead. It could be a little tougher fight to keep that streak going here, again, with the pace we've been seeing from the Robinson Racing cars and what we expect we might see from the McLarens.
18.0 is the quickest lap of the weekend. Shane Lewis was fastest yesterday at 2:18.6, so Cooper vaults to the top. Brynjolfsson only half a second off. Tony Gable slots into third right now. These times will tumble, I would think, on these second and third laps. There's a short qualifying session with this big 4-mile circuit, Greg. You're only going to get 5 or 6 laps here. Time, that is, to count towards your qualifying.
And you don't want to be spending much time ducking into the pits to make adjustments, because as you said, this lap is so long. You need to get it dialed up right. Stavely now jumps up to third overall, second in AM at a 2:18.5. Andretti at a 2:18.7, fourth overall And in the 4th and Pro, if you
Cooper
would.
really wide. Little mistake there by Michael, I feel.
Yeah, nice. And that was a class move. Made the mistake and realized that Brynjolfsson might be on a real flyer. Just got out of his way.
Well, the key is the experience factor there. We didn't see it, but maybe Michael locked up a tire or something coming down. These cars do have ABS, so either way, he ran wide, decided just to abort the lap, essentially, regroup here. And you don't want to damage any tires.
Spencer Pumpelly now jumps to 4th overall in the number 66 LaSalle Solutions Racers Group Adobe Wines Porsche at a 2:18.7.
Big contingent from LaSalle here this weekend to cheer Spencer on. Still very much in this championship chase. Had a disaster at VIR earlier this year where he failed to score any points that weekend, but still only 19 points back of James. And coming into this championship, we were certainly very excited about the potential for a James Pumpelly and Cooper battle for the championship.
Yes, we were.
See what Cooper does here, how he sets up the lap. Does he allow Allen to gap him a little bit, or is he going to try and get the draft effect up this front straightaway?
Gar Robinson makes his first appearance up near the sharp end of things. And the 81. Davis.
Here we go. Watch Cooper here. Going to try and get the draft. He's got to clear Allen without compromising his turn-in point to turn 1. They're pretty even here in the straightaway, and see if Michael just pop out and get to the inside and grab the corner without affecting his sector time. Allen doesn't want to give it to him. Not sure if there's going to be much advantage there in terms of shallow approach to the corner versus the little effect he got from the stripe to that first corner in terms of gaining a bit of speed.
Shane Lewis just set fastest first sector in this lap, so
big
he's
guns
coming.
are coming.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Ian James very circumspect. You saw him on his opening lap. He doesn't run over any curbs. He just wants to settle in, gradually build those tires up to pressure.
Watching here, Drew Stavely, 2nd in the AM category right now, 4th overall. Very quick driver in that G3 Ian Lacey Racing Mustang. Had himself an overall pole earlier in the season.
Big lead too in his championship. He goes to 2 in a row. 63 points in front. 75 by the end of today would clinch it with 3 rounds to go.
Lewis just set 2nd sector fast time. He is on a flyer right now in the number 72 Hunting Ranch Resort entry. So we'll see what he's able to do here. Keep an eye on that as we continue to watch Cooper and see if he's was able to use that little bit of a toe to any advantage. As you said, got pinched a little bit into 1. Pumpelly jumps to 2nd, though, in the overall. Only 17 100ths now. Lewis to the top at a 2:17.4.
Sweet.
That was a lap.
He's feeling it this weekend.
Yes, he is.
They have really bounced back. They started off the year well, Greg, and had a little bit of a dry patch, regrouped with the season break, and have come back really strong. So Jimmy Fraser and the boys have certainly done their homework on these Camaros. Come back strong.
He certainly had speed at the Glen. It's been great. Lewis made that little bit of a mistake that led to the contact with Cooper. And I think Lewis, maybe now Shane is saying, you know what, I need to get this one for the team. And what a lap he just put in. 2:17.4. Ian James now has set the fastest 2nd and 3rd sectors in the number 50.
Jumps to 2nd. 2/10 off of Shane Lewis.
Cooper 3rd, Pumpelly 4th.
Time is winding down quick. A 15-minute session around this circuit goes in a hurry.
It does. Fastest of the AM drivers now is Brynjolfsson, still topping the order in the number 7 Volt Lighting. Park Place Porsche sits 7th overall. Stavely 2nd in the number 12 Mustang in AM, and Gaples, I thought he would be good here, and he is. Tony up to 3rd in the AM category right now.
Ian James is either done with his qualifying run or he's just on a cool lap. Very slow through sector 1. Looks like he's just easing his way around the circuit. So not sure if he's saving tires or just trying to set up for another crack at it. Plenty of time on the board to be slow through this lap and still get back there. Maybe get 1 or 2 more laps in. A little wiggle there.
That is Gar Robinson pushing hard, currently 6th, and he's around. Oh, big save, keep it off the wall. He got away with one.
He did. There was some skill in that and a little bit of luck.
Indeed. Indeed. Back in the day, they used to have the timing line there at the exit of 14. You'd see guys running off all the time over there.
That Camaro was batting its eyelids at his teammate.
It certainly was.
I love you, Shane.
Go get him. Watch it here again, Kel.
He was on the edge. He was on the edge. He was pushing hard. The boys got some car control, but he was already wide of the line. You could see him, hear him feathering the throttle there. So he'd already committed to rolling speed. The car's essentially out of control. It wasn't going back to power that lost control. That's the rolling speed.
It was already going, yeah. All right. Oh, Scar's trying to get a lap going here, and Dynan needs to put one together. Remember, we saw him duck into the pits early. He is way down the order right now, 10th in the AM category for Dynan. That's not going to help him.
Well, Gar Robinson does have enough time on the board to get those tires cleaned off, regroup here, and still lay down a faster lap.
There's the number 82 of Mike McCann. I should say Mike McCann Jr. right there.
He's already had a good morning.
He has.
Yeah, he and James just, they got a game plan. I tell you, they are a sharp group.
Yeah, that whole team's, I mean, Stefan Pfeiffer and Ian, the way that they work it here. And without there being a point for pole, is there a point in pushing, hurting your tires for 2/10?
I don't think so. You just want to be up on the first couple of rows and out of the mid-pack and do it from there. And it's just going to be his normal controlled race. I think the Panos is going to struggle at the end of the long stretches here, up into turn 1, down at 5, even down at Canada corner, turn 12, after this high-speed kink. But as we've seen with Ian's racecraft, he'll be in the mix for some big points this afternoon.
Final 2 minutes of the session. Still Brynjolfsson leading in the AM category over Stavely, Gaples, Courtney, and Marco Radisek has a very strong run here.
Yeah, and he missed the second session yesterday as they were doing some setup changes to that car. So this is a nice little bounce back for Marco. He's quick here.
He is. That Precision Driving Tech team.com doing a great job. There's number 81 of Davis, who's doing a nice job. Sits right up in that top 5.
Lewis is pulled into the pit, so he has the fast time right now. So the top 3 are all in pit lane right now. So Pimpelli's still out there. Can he put a lap together and jump into those top 3 positions?
Yeah, Marco, remember, was a couple of years ago when he was running in the GT Cup class, and he and Yuki Harada had that amazing battle that Marco was able to duke him out and win back then in a Ferrari. So yeah, he likes this place. And Andrew Davis, 5th overall right now. Looking for a little bit more on the number 81. That is the Audi. Sean Quinlan letting him slide through.
Quinlan was really quick here yesterday.
Yes,
he's going to be a little disappointed to be down the order. He's up in the top 4th actually in the first session yesterday morning. This will be the last lap for this Audi. He's going to run out of time, but he can finish this lap off.
See the Kelly Moss logo on the front of that car. Andrew, long association with Kelly Moss Racing as a coach as well as a driver.
And as a driver, Greg, there's no better feeling than being here at Road America. Early morning, cool, crisp conditions. What a setting it is. This is a fantastic track to drive.
They call it America's National Park of Speed, and I think that's pretty apropos. The checker is out, so anybody on a lap, they will be allowed to finish it. You get that little bit of that lingering fog that we had here this morning, right in this section of the track. Those trees trap it just a little bit. I know the track. I like the slogan, America's National Park of Speed. I like to call this America's Nürburgring. It's pretty impressive here. And this run used to be the old Billy Mitchell Bridge right there, and that blind approach behind that hill. So many times you turn into that corner and then you realize, oh, I could have got a bit quicker through there. I left too much. See what Davis is able to do. Currently 5th behind Lewis, James, Cooper, and Pompelli. Isn't setting the fastest sectors here. Improves his time marginally. Cal drops it just a little bit on that lap to a 2:18.5.
Yeah, I think his previous best was an 18 flat. 18.027.
Yep, 18. You're correct. No problem there for Mark Clennon in the Premier Copier KPR entry. A race winner here last year. A great pole qualifying effort, but a problem here. So provisionally, there's a look at the number 72 of Shane Lewis, who was provisionally on the pole here. Margin of 0.2 in this group. That's a pretty good margin here. Cooper in the number 10. Black Dog McLaren is 3rd. 66 Spencer Pompelli in the TRG Porsche 4th. And the 81 of Andrew Davis currently in the 5th spot.
Brynjolfsson leads the AM.
Nice job.
Brigade. That's a good lap for him. They got a big weekend. Double duty, of course. He's going to be running in the Sprint X East competition, and they're right in the thick of the championship battle there. We've got 3 teams within 5 points, so he and Trent Hinman will be sharing the sister car, the 77, I believe it is. Sprint X.
I'll tell you, yeah, Stavely sits 2nd in the class, 71 thousandths behind Brynjolfsson. So these are pretty closely grouped up at the sharp end of things here.
Andretti coming off a brilliant victory at Watkins Glen. 9th overall, 7th in the pro class, but expect him to race hard in the early laps. He always gets up on the wheel, used to those short 10-minute sprint car races.
And he does. So here you go, the provisional qualifying results for the Pirelli GT4 America Sprint division here, presented this weekend by Window World. Shane Lewis on the top over Ian James. Remember, Ian going for a 5th and 6th consecutive wins here. If he could pull it off, you take a look at the rest of the order. Cooper 3rd, Pompelli 4th, and Davis. Brynjolfsson, Stavely, Gaples, Courtney, and Radisek. The top 5 in the AM category here at Road America.